Hi, everybody. I am here today with a reading progress slash wrap up video for end of October, beginning of November. I think I have most of the books with me here. If I missed any, they will be in my next reading progress video, which will be out on the 19th or the 20th. I haven't decided when I'm going to post it yet. So actually, I think we're first going to start with all of the books that I'm rereading. First, for my holiday TBR, I am reading Christmas at the Little Beach Street Bakery by Jenny Colgan. I'm also rereading Christmas at Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop. This book was 4.5 stars last year. Christmas at Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop was 5 stars, and I am almost done listening to the Secret Christmas the Secret Christmas Library, which is her new release from October 14th, which I'm going to give 4.5 stars to. We also made the Knishes recipe last year. That's in the back of this book, and we gave the recipe 8 out of 10. The next book that I am rereading for Thriller Horror Dark Academia TBR is Carrie by Stephen King. I gave this book 3.5 stars. This is a horror book, but I wasn't very scared by it. When I read it last year, I just left the reading experience feeling sad for Carrie, because not only was she abused by her classmates, but she was also treated really unfairly by her mom, and I think she just should have gotten out of that situation and started over fresh somewhere else. A book that I am rereading for the Taylor Swift TBR for The Life of a Showgirl is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. If I'm not mistaken, this goes with the song The Fate of Ophelia, because this is about William Shakespeare, and Ophelia is a Shakespeare play character. This book is not on any thematic TBR that I'm reading. I borrowed it from my mom. This is called The Lying Life of Adults. It's by the same author as My Brilliant Friend. This author is from Naples, Italy, and her books are all translated from English. I gave My Brilliant Friend 5 stars because I really, really enjoy the writing style. And of course, this book was set in Italy, and being Italian, of course, I love the setting. In this book, I am currently on page 242. Oh, sorry, I didn't give progress for the other couple books. In Hamnet, I am on page 187. In Carrie, I am on page 176, and I just started Christmas at the Little Beach Street Bakery this morning. I am currently on chapter 10, page 77. The next book is a book I borrowed from my mother-in-law, Sally, over the summer that I'm finally getting around to reading. It's called The Recipe Club, A Tale of Food and Friendship by Andrea Israel and Nancy Garfinkel. These authors are both new to me. I have never read anything by them, and this is about 2 friends who exchange recipes together, and the recipes are interwoven into the narrative. I am on page 115. A book that I am the next couple of books intersect with both the Taylor Swift TBR and the From Manhattan to Stars Hollow TBR. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid focuses on a fictional 1970s rock band called Daisy Jones and the Six. If you have not seen the Amazon Prime TV show about this book. It's so good. Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, plays Daisy Jones, and she was fantastic. You can tell that talent runs in that family. A nonfiction book I recently finished is called From Here to the Great Unknown, which is by Priscilla Presley and Riley Keough. It's basically their experiences of growing up with Elvis and growing up in Graceland. Priscilla Presley died in 2023, and Riley Keough is now the sole heir to Graceland. In my reread of Daisy Jones and the Six, I am currently on page 204. The Taylor Swift song this goes with is The Life of a Showgirl, and then the Friends character this book is paired up with is Phoebe. I'm sure you people who follow me are not surprised that I'm rereading this again. It will probably be the last time just because I've read it so many times in the past couple of years and I'm getting kind of exhausted of always reading it. As much as I love this book, I'm probably going to be getting rid of it soon. Friends, Lovers, and a Big Terrible Thing, Matthew Perry's memoir. What I have been realizing since his death is this book has been easier to listen to on audiobook since he narrates it. It's not that the pacing is bad. It's really fast, actually, with the physical book. It's even faster when you listen to the audiobook and the physical book together, but it's just that the first time I read this book, I left the experience feeling very sad for him, and I still feel that way. And I just, as much as I love this book, I have to part ways with it eventually, not only because of how sad I'm left that he was so lonely when he died, but also just because behind the scenes, I have gone through so much emotional stress over the past couple of years dealing with hackers that have pretended to be Matthew Perry, other actors from Friends, and even his father. So I'm kind of done dealing with that. It's exhausting. It makes me want to totally get rid of social media, but since Facebook recently changed their privacy settings 2 weeks ago to like prevent weird people from sending you messages, basically. So this book got 5 stars, and I'm ready to give it to another Matthew Perry fan after I finish reading it. The next book is called Hello Beautiful by Anna Napolitano. This is on the Taylor Swift Life of a Showgirl TBR list for the song Eldest Daughter, because the character I connect to in this retelling of Little Women is Julia, who is obviously Jo March, and I gave this book 4.5 stars. The next book I am rereading from the Manhattan to Stars Hollow TBR is The 5-Star Weekend by Elin Hildenbrand. Kathleen and I are reading this next summer, but I'm reading it again now just because I love her book so much and I love the beach setting. This book connects to Friends because of the episode at the end of season 3 when they go to the beach to find Phoebe's birth mother. And I have given most of Elin Hildenbrand's books 4.5 stars, except for her recent release, The Academy, which I'm going to probably talk about in a separate review. That's a solo review. The next up, I'm going to do a haul of library books that I picked up yesterday. The the first book is a YA holiday book called Meant to Be by Katie Cicatelli Cook, author of Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, which I have not read. This is a cute book. I'm enjoying it. It's a really sweet holiday book, and if you have a teenager who fits in the demographic of this book, I highly recommend it to them. The next book that I am reading is and Meant to Be. I am on chapter 8, page 142. The next book I am reading is Don't You Forget About Me. And yes, the song title is the same title as the song that's at the end of the movie, The Breakfast Club. This book is by Marley McFarlane, who also wrote Just Last Night, and the recent book that she just came out with is Cover Story, which I gave 4 stars to. I just started this book today, or last night I should say, and I am on chapter 13, 120. The next book that I am reading is called The Postscript Murders by Ellie Griffiths. I have never heard of this author, but I found this book in the adult fiction section of the library, and I'm really enjoying it so far. The mystery is pretty intense. I'm on chapter 15, page 107. The next book that I picked up at the library yesterday is Catabasis, or Catabasis, however you want to say it. This is R.F. Kuang's new release. She also wrote Yellowface, which I gave 3.5 stars to, and Babel, which I still haven't read yet. This basically seems to be a retelling of Dante's Inferno because it's about a pair of college students who have to go down to hell to get advice from their college professor who is dead. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I am only on chapter 7, page 101. The next book that I am reading, oh my god, that pile of books is gonna fall. The next book that I'm reading is called The Maiden and Her Monster by Maddie Martinez. This is a new release that was released a couple of weeks ago. It is from debut author Maddie Martinez. The Maiden and Her Monster reimagines the Jewish myth of the Golem in gorgeous atmospheric fantasy rooted in mystery, folklore, and sapphic romance. So this is a female romance novel that is set, it's based off Jewish mythology. So this is on my fairy tale folklore fantasy TBR, where I read a lot of fairy tale and mythical retellings from different cultures. I have really been enjoying this TBR because it's education on different cultures and the stories that they tell their young children, and I'm hoping to write my own folktale story eventually. The next new release that I read last month was Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This is by the same author as the Rebel Blue Ranch Cowboy Romance series. This book seems to be getting mixed reviews from all the people that I follow on YouTube. I would be in the consensus of people who rank it in 4.5 stars because I haven't read the Rebel Blue Ranch series, so I don't know how this really compares, but I love these paranormal romance books like Bride because of the atmosphere. The relationship between the two characters was not believable in certain situations, but overall I like Lila Sage's writing style, and I can't wait to read the Rebel Blue Ranch series, because now that I've finished Elsie Silver's Chestnut Springs series, and I'm almost done with the cowboy series that Wild Eyes is in. I forget the title of the series. I'm ready to read Rebel Blue Ranch. The final book that I want to talk about tonight is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. So, the first book I read from Hannah Bonham Young was called Out on a Limb. It was one of my first 5-star reads of 2025. I read it on like January 20th. And I gave it 5 stars. There's great disability representation in this book, because these characters have limb differences. And as I mentioned in my original review of Out on a Limb, I connected to the main character, Wynn, because of the dexterity issue she has with her hands. I do not have a limb difference, but I have fine motor skill problems because of cerebral palsy, and that's why I was able to relate to Wynn's character. There is an accidental pregnancy trope in this book, which I wasn't sure I was going to like, but I ended up really liking it, and I just love the bond that Wynn and Bo share. I think they're so cute. The sequel to Out of the Woods focuses on the other couple in Out on a Limb, Sarah and Caleb, and it's about them going on a marriage retreat in the middle of the woods. I wasn't a big fan of that one because I couldn't connect to the characters as much as I did in Out on a Limb because of the disability representation. This book, I was actually really disappointed in. I was excited for this one after loving the disability representation in Out on a Limb, and there's really great Alzheimer's rep in this book because the main female character, Prue, is taking care of her mother who has Alzheimer's. So this is set in a small town as similar to Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls. So these two main characters, Prue and Milo, are similar to Jess and Rory because of the fact that they are both creative. She's a poet and he's a painter, and so the connection to Prue's mother that Milo has is that she was his art teacher in high school, and she wants to paint a picture of Prue's mother, like, as a gift to her, because he knows that the family is dealing with Alzheimer's. Milo is back in town because him and his siblings are visiting their dad, who they were estranged from, and they want to work things out with him or something. So I liked the small town setting. I liked the fact that Prue and Milo were creative artists, because, as I was just saying, Milo is a painter and Prue is a poet. The things I did not like, and I liked the Alzheimer's rep. The things I did not like were the playboy and virgin trope. I'm sorry, but I love relationships in books when the characters have more in common with each other. They have more grounds to build the relationship on. This relationship was too focused on sex, and I didn't really enjoy that. I almost stopped reading the book, but I wanted to see how it ended, so that's why I finished it. So yeah, he gave me the ick, and he made me think of Jess in the episode of Gilmore Girls where they're at the house party that Lane's band is playing at, and there's no sexual assault in this book, but like that's when Jess gave me the ick, and Milo gives the ick because he's a playboy. He's kind of like Joey from Friends in that sense, because all he thinks about is pretty ladies and sex. And, like, they didn't really have much to build their relationship on other than the sex. And also, another thing I hated is that the townspeople in this book treated Prue like she was a teenager or younger instead of her actual age, which was 24. And that was really frustrating because I'm sure she was trying to get people to help her take care of her mom, and they didn't really respect all that she was going through with her mom being sick. I gave this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, I was disappointed with this one. Did you read any of these books? What did you think about them? Leave a comment below. I will be back in 2 weeks with another reading progress update. Oh, shoot. I had 3 more books I forgot to talk about. Sorry about that. So, 3 library books that I'm going to be returning to the library on Monday are All These Sunken Souls, which is a horror short story collection that I read for Halloween. I just finished this yesterday, and I gave it 4.5 stars. The next book is called An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. All of the people who read horror books on YouTube hype this book up. It's very worthy of the hype. This is a lesbian retelling of Carmilla that's more present day, and it's a dark academia story that's set in a Massachusetts women. It's called Saint Perpetua's Women's College. It's a fictional college that's in Massachusetts. I really liked the development of the relationship between Laura and Carmilla. And this is my first book by S.G. Gibson. A Dowry of Blood will be next. The last book that I finished is the sequel to This Ravenous Fate, which was recommended to me by Carrie Can. This book, like the book it precedes, is getting 4.5 stars. I love this author's writing. This author's name is Haley Dennings. This is a female romance that is set in 1920s Harlem, which is such a fun setting because of all the music and stuff. So I loved it, and I can't wait to see what this author comes out with next. So, now that this video is officially over, if you have read any of these books, please share your thoughts in the comments. Also, share what you are reading right now. And with Thanksgiving coming up soon, I would like you to share with me what you are thankful for. I am thankful for my family and my friends, and also everybody that I do art class with at Double House Arts, because we have so much fun together. So thank you. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys in 2 weeks.